Cool. Okay. This one's a bit different in terms of recording. I didn't do as good as I wanted to, but nonetheless, I'll just do a full recap of what happened. So, all of the trade for 2026 thus far. So, what I typically do is daily bias, like you guys are well aware of. Daily bias. From there, price sweep off Asian session high and London session highs, and then dump towards the London session lows and sweep Asian session lows. So ASL Asian session lows and A or LSL is London session lows. The only thing just made a higher high on between a 4 hour. So it's quite a bit of information to factor in. I'm not sure what the fuck's gonna happen, but nonetheless, this was my target. Um and yeah, it got hit, right? So first literally this funny thing is it swept it twice, one, two, and then from there it dumped to the downside. And yeah, so the next morning when I woke up, this was the price. Or in the afternoon when I checked it, it was the price. And then the third, I don't think there were any actions there. So yeah. Right. And on the fifth, similar story, right? Bias, market is opening. I'm expecting a pullback towards overnight EQ. And then we keep moving towards all-time high. However, we should have a pullback and correction, at least overnight EQ, and the lowest should be Asian session lows. But let's see how price moves. And did any of that shit happen? No, no, it did not. No, it did not. Shit just went north. So, which is fine. And then from there, like I think I got cooked here, right? And this was ES, right? That Monday was horrible. I honestly thought we are gonna have a pullback, and it was just staggering for a little bit. So I took a few trades, but nonetheless, I got cooked that Monday. I don't know what happened. I just kept trading, and then yeah, folded. And then this is the sixth. Yeah, this is the sixth. I thought we were gonna hit London. Oh wait, yeah. So this is the sixth, right? This is a Wednesday. I need to take better screenshots because I don't know what date this is. So I need to factor that in when I'm doing these moving forward. But yeah, this is the sixth, if I'm not mistaken, right? Market is opening in a pullback, da da da, whatever. So I was once again hoping a pullback to overnight EQ and at least swipe Asian session and London session lows, but that didn't happen at all. But I was expecting this, right? Price start and then just dump to the downside and then rally back up. And I think on that day, the reason why I have a lot of shorts happening here was due to the fact that um Nasdaq just dumped. And I thought it was an SMT divergent happening, but overall, it wasn't an SMT divergent. It just literally just dumped and nothing, like it was just staying stagnant here. So therefore, I lost my shirt. Like literally, I bet quite a bit on my account, like my personal account, not even a Top Step account, and I got rinsed. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, it was fairly interesting. I honestly thought, right, we're gonna continue dumping, at least hit Asian session lows. Why? Because that's what was happening on Nasdaq, but it didn't happen. So it is what it is. And this is the seventh. Yeah, this is Thursday. Thursday, similar story here. Well, I think I misspoke. Anyways, so on the seventh, right? I thought this was pretty interesting. This is where I think this is where Nasdaq dumped, and I folded, and I was just expecting it to continue to dump, but it didn't. But nonetheless, my target was, full trading day EQ. And then yeah, but that's exactly what happened. I didn't have things here, but it is what it is. This one was interesting. Yeah, this is the 8th, Thursday. I was expecting, yeah, oh my God. So the 8th was actually the craziest day ever. This is what I was referring to about the market dumping. So I ended up changing, and I'll touch base on that a bit later. But nonetheless, so Thursday was fairly interesting, right? And what I just said about the market dumping, that's exactly what happened, right? Bias for today, market is opening, interesting spot. Target should be, slip London session lows, uh, and then Asian session lows, and then bounce towards full day EQ, right? Full trading day EQ, which happened here, and then the TD EQ, right? That like so full profit would have been here, right? Go from here and then ride into here, and then let runners run, and then what happened, right? But anywho, I got rinsed that day, which was it wasn't that crazy, but yeah, I doubled down again on the bias, dude. Not even towards my bias, but what was happening in the market, and that got me to think, right? Excuse me. Like S&T divergent. Once again, I thought EQ. If EQ dumps, then ES typically dump, but I kept seeing the different structure. But I thought it was just a whole bunch of buildup and consolidation for a full sweep to the downside. But that's not necessarily what happened. But nonetheless, right? My target was full trading day EQ, right? And then of course, previous trading day EQ, which is right here. But yeah, we swept London session lows, and then we just bounced all the way up here. It is what it is. I took a L that day, and I was super pissed off. And I thought about stopping. I thought about it, but I didn't. So yeah, after taking three massive days of like taking L's, I was just like, okay, I need to structure this a bit better, and that's exactly what I did, right? And then I can show you guys here. So I took one trade that day, and the thing is, I need to start taking a little bit more trade. Well, no, max 3 trades, right? Which I have on my plan, but nonetheless, right? So, all right, bias for today. Market is opening close to previous day highs. Thought is that we're going to dip towards full trading day EQ and then bounce back. However, the perfect trade would be the market dipping all the way down to London session lows and Asian session lows and then bounce back. And right, plan 1, ride the wave down to London session lows and Asian session lows. And then those two were really down there. So therefore I was like, okay, cool. Mind you, I was writing this before market even opened, right? 9:30, we have 15 minutes until market open. So yeah, nah. Okay, plan 2 was ride back up. The reason why I say that is because before market even opened, we were already going up or already going down towards overnight EQ, right? We already hit overnight EQ, right? Plan 3, we could target the previous draws on liquidity and then bounce all the way back up, right? Meaning, I thought, like, look, man, forget this. Like, as long as I'm able to sweep some sort of liquidity here, then overall we'll just ride the wave back up. And then that's exactly what happened throughout the day. I kind of wrote it. It swept overnight EQ and then touched full trading day EQ. And then I rode it back all the way up here, right? Which was London session lows. And then I cashed out. And then, like, later in the day, this is a 4-hour. Target to hit was both, but nonetheless, towards the end of the day, of course, it hit London session lows. I was already done. I stopped looking at the market. And then from there, it swept all the way back up to close to my target, but not fully there. But nonetheless, London session lows, which was the primary plan for today, was actually hit. So yeah, and then you guys can see here, right? It hit like full TP. Like, but once again, it was just me watching the market. I wasn't really watching the market in the capacity that I should have. But nonetheless, I did take a great trade where it swept liquidity and then rolled all the way up here to London session low or London session high. So I was able to take full profit there. And then the second option would have been, sweep full liquidity here and then from there go up. So nonetheless, what I was able to discern from all of this is that I have a great concept of where price is going. Now, the next thing is like mastering staying within your specific bias for today when it does prove that to be correct. But also, like, how the fuck do you know whether or not it's going to be correct or not? So I thought that was pretty interesting. So that's one thing I for sure have to work on, where sometimes I'm literally towards my bias is pretty spot on, but I would trade against it. Like, for example, this day I traded against it because of what the market was saying. But previous, like after studying the market for a few nights, I was able to identify like I should do this, right? For example, 4-hour fair value gap, it got respected. So for sure could have ride that all the way down here at least. But there's multiple trades I was able to see, but I didn't take any of them because I lost so much cash within the first 30 minutes of trading that day. So I was like, okay, whatever, whatever, whatever. So yeah. But nonetheless, that's one thing I've noticed, right? Like I know where price is going and I can go over some other biases here and then yeah, sweep liquidity and then go back up. Overnight EQ hit that and then from again sweep London session lows. Overnight EQ got swept from when the market started all the way down here. And then once again TP would have been right here. I don't even know if I took this fully, but yeah, like there's a few times where I was able to call it. Let me see. First month trading journal. Yeah, like this. Yeah, this is fairly interesting. I'm super excited about this where, I'm able to like call where market is going. And I have to remind myself that I'm pretty good at that capacity is just once again sticking to the plan, making one trade per day, and then from there not overthinking this. But yeah, like I like how my charts went from being so colorful to look at this, bro. Look at this. Look at this play. Super clean. Wrote this all the way down. Winning day. Um, and that's when I started overthinking. But it swept liquidity and then it dumped to the downside. This one I don't think it worked out, but agent session lows previous trading that you put. There we go. Yeah, that one did not work out. But nonetheless, I don't think my strategy is going to work 100% of the time. But it does work consistent enough where I should be able to take profit from it. Oh, wow. Look, it did fucking work out. So there's that. Yeah, it did. It did. Worst case scenario. And that goes back to me having like multiple plans, right? And then look, like, crazy. Market just dumped before market even opened. So overall, bounce back up. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So yeah, once again, I know. Yeah, I think I have an understanding. So let's keep this going. And yeah, pretty short, pretty quick overall tutorial or trading day. But yeah, did I stick with all of this? No, I didn't do this as well. That's one thing I realized. Like, I really need to dial in. I honestly like, yeah, I need to redo this due to the fact that I have no excuse, honestly. Like, yeah, I have no excuse. Yeah, I need to fix this some more, but it is what it is. We have next week. This is the first full week of 2026, and yeah,